Racism is not funny, and Roseanne Barr is a racist. Now her show is canceled.
I am so sick of people using the word racist in that fashion. You know, they're just tiresome, old, and discredited. Guys, Kevin the Patriot Punk here, and it is time for warfare, all right? I am done pulling punches on this channel. What we saw this week, first with Tommy Robinson, now with Roseanne, it shows us that the time for half measures is over. It is time to get extreme. Okay, the left have had decades of plotting, of subversion, of propaganda and nepotism to get to this point where they can deplatform us from any platform, where they control all of our major institutions, where in the case of Tommy Robinson, they can have us arrested for dissenting against their agenda. Now, here's the thing. I won't talk about Tommy Robinson today. I'll do a video on that later. I want to talk about Roseanne, because Roseanne, they were never going to let her have a successful show. They put her on TV because they thought, like all the other reboots, that her show would fail, and then they could point to it and laugh about how that conservative wasn't successful, and nobody wanted to hear that. But the truth is that a lot of people want to hear that voice. People crave actual diversity in America, which is diversity of thought, and Roseanne offered a small peek of that, and so they weren't going to let her succeed. All right, and all you have to do is go listen to the old late night shows, all the liberal radio talk shows, and you can hear them over the last couple months talking about how they could deplatform Roseanne. Watch this clip from one of the late night shows. You can see where months ago they were already attacking her, calling her racist.
See, here with more on that, please welcome one of our writers, Amber Ruffin, with Amber's Minute of Fury.
Being racist. So in this tired-ass episode, she has Muslim neighbors, and she thinks they're terrorists until they give her their Wi-Fi password, and then she decides they're okay and saves them from a different racist person, proving that she is no longer racist.
All right, so the whole point of that episode was to prove that racist stereotypes are bad, yet they use this to build a false narrative that Roseanne is a racist. They do this all the time. The left are experts at building false narratives about people they want to destroy. They did it with Trump when he said that some of the people crossing the southern border illegally are rapists and murderers. They then turned it around and said that Trump said all immigrants were rapists and murderers. They did it recently when he said that MS-13 were animals. We're hearing them now say that he said all immigrants were animals. They even did it with Sarah Palin, trying to say that she was stupid by saying she said that she could see Russia from her backyard. You know, it was actually Tina Fey who said that on Saturday Night Live, but they didn't care about the facts. And you can use these false narratives to try to destroy somebody over time because they repeat them over and over again until the public think they're true. And you can see this in the rest of that Shepard Smith clip I showed earlier. Check it out.
ABC made the decision to nix the hit reboot of Roseanne just hours after the star comedian went on a rant on Twitter, made a racist statement, and not for the first time.
God, Shepard Smith is such garbage, but he proves my point. When he says it's not for the first time, he is using that false narrative that they built about Roseanne over the last few months as evidence that she's racist. And they do this with all of them. They do it with Kanye, they do it with Stacey Dash, they did it with Trump. Anybody who no longer wants to toe that left-wing line, anybody who leaves the Democrat plantation, then they become racist. Then they have a long history of racism. You know, they loved Trump before he got into Republican politics. The media loved Kanye before he started talking about Candace Owens. And they loved Roseanne. They wouldn't have given her a show a few months ago if they thought she was racist. But now that she has a successful show where she's not pushing the left-wing agenda, now she has to be destroyed. Now she's a racist and she shouldn't have a television show.
About the former Obama White House advisor, Valerie Jarrett. Roseanne responding to an unfounded claim that President Obama had spied on French presidential candidates. She accused his former advisor of helping. The tweet, which Roseanne has since deleted, read, "Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, equals VJ."
So let's get this straight. There was nothing racist about this tweet. It once again shows that the left have this bigotry of low expectations where they think that anybody compared to Planet of the Apes or Monkey has to be because they're black. Valerie Jarrett's not even black, okay? Roseanne was obviously talking about her haircut, which is accurate. But the thing is that they don't care about that. What they care about is Roseanne, somebody with the kind of power and influence and following that she has. was shedding a light on one of the most notorious shady people on the left. Valerie Jarrett has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. She has ties to all these different revolutionary communist groups. She was helping Obama spy on different people's campaigns. And that's not a conspiracy made up by Rosanne. This is from Judicial Watch. This is from FBI files that were released.
Despite her history, ABC was sticking with its star, at least until today. The show took off since coming back to television, the ratings through the roof, conservatives pointing to its success as an example of a greater political movement in this country, away from the left, away from what they called political correctness. Even got plenty of attention, I should say, from the president himself.
Look at Rosanne. I called her yesterday. Look at her ratings. Look at her ratings.
Huge ratings, but racism killed it.
Guys, racism didn't kill this show. None of the fans are calling for Rosanne to be deplatformed. The media killed this show. The executives killed this show, and they were always going to, whether she had put out that tweet or not. And you know, the sad thing is this show wasn't even that right-wing. All the writers were leftists. Most of it mocked right-wingers, but that little bit of truth that came through, they could not tolerate it. So they killed it. And all you have to do is look at the other shows that they killed that were popular, that had high ratings. Look at Sam Hyde's show on Cartoon Network, $1 Million Extreme. It was destroyed because it mocked PC culture. Look at Tim Allen's show. You know, had some of the highest ratings on his network. They canceled it, all because they couldn't tolerate that dissenting voice. And we have to fight back, guys. This is war, okay? They are trying to back us into a corner. And you know what Sun Tzu said about the enemy being backed into a corner? They are the most dangerous, and we have to become dangerous. You know, one of the things we can do with this media stuff is we can start crowdfunding right-wing shows. We can try to get Sam Hyde a show on YouTube where we try to crowdfund that. We could try to crowdfund a show for Tim Allen to do on YouTube, or some other network like BitChute where they'll have freedom of speech, where they can get paid by the people who want their product. You know, a real free market experience again. And we've lost that with the mainstream media. They've killed that. So, you know, yeah, they'll kill their cash cow, Rosanne, for political correctness, but we can revive it. We can revive these type of shows. We can revive this type of content, and we have to.
So far, no word from President Trump since ABC's decision just less than an hour ago. Seems no amount of viewers or tweeting could have saved Rosanne from her racist ways. At least not this time.
You know what would have saved Rosanne's show if we had dismissed the left the first time they started using racism as a term to describe anybody who criticized their policies. You know, they have weaponized this term racism or racist to the point now where it is a scarlet letter to try to discount anybody who criticizes their policies. And doing so, they themselves are racist, because what they're doing is saying, if you were gay, if you were black, if you're Hispanic, and you don't believe what we want you to believe, then you are no longer valid as that race or as that sex. You know, I'm saying this as the father of mixed race children. Racism is not a big deal here in the US. Okay, I've been to countries where racism is a problem. It's not happening in the West. All right? But I'll tell you what scares me. The very tactics that I saw used in certain countries where genocides were happening are the tactics we're seeing here, not used against people of different races, but used against people who dissent against the left-wing or globalist narrative. What we're seeing happening right now to people like Tommy Robinson and Rosanne are the very things we saw happen in Nazi Germany to the Jews. The left are using the same tactics they used during Jim Crow back when they were the party of the KKK. They're using that now against whites or against anybody who doesn't go along with their agenda. And that is scary, especially for somebody who has mixed race kids, because my daughters, once they come after all of us who were so-called white, who are they going to go after next? Well, they'll go after people like my girls, people who have one drop, because, you know, they're not going to say they're Hispanic, they're going to say they're white. We're hearing this right now for certain people like, you know, Stacey Dash, or who's the woman who just got married over there in Britain, you know? Yeah, she's half white, so yeah. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. I lost my train of thought there, but, you know, they say if you want to know who rules over you, just find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Well, Rosanne found out. She's not allowed to criticize George Soros. She's not allowed to criticize Valerie Jarrett. And now you're just basically not allowed to criticize anybody on the left or any policies of the left. So we have to criticize them. We have to go after them. We need to support people like Rosanne. We need to support people like Tim Allen, and definitely support Sam Hyde. We need to support the YouTubers like Bering and Dapperton who have been shut down. Support my channel because this is, what, my 5th attempt at a channel now, and it's growing slower than any of my previous channels. So please go share my videos. I hope you like this. Like and subscribe. I'm out.